What's going on, people? So this is some live footage of me about to go in for my very first Reiki session. If you're not familiar with what Reiki is in simple terms, the movement of our energy. And so I'm going in with Reiki Master Rebecca, the Awakened Queen, for my first session, where she is going to proceed to move the energy that is in my body, to energetically counsel me, essentially. And I am here for it. So you got to stay tuned for the end of this episode to hear how the experience went, as well as to hear the great dialogue she and I had about the profession of Reiki, how her experiences led her in the direction of knowing she was a true Reiki master, and how I have been impacted by learning more about energy in motion. What is good, people? So this is Ra Kalan, and the excited voice you heard before was also Ra Kalan before she experienced her first Reiki session. So I'm excited to introduce you to Reiki as I got introduced to Reiki with this episode. But before we get into the details of it, I want to make sure that you know how to get in contact with me. Are you following us on 3 in Motion on Instagram or Facebook? If the answer to that question is not yes, go ahead and do it. I want you in the loop. I want to engage with you, and that's the best way to do it. Also, if you have not already subscribe to whatever channel you are listening to this episode on. It will serve you best in the future, so you don't got to worry about did you miss the next upcoming episode. It'll just pop up on your phone. We are now streaming wherever you're listening, so wherever it's convenient for you, make sure that you listen and then share it with your friends and family and let them know wherever it's convenient for them to listen, they can do it there too. We want everybody having these very conscious, open, transparent conversations, and Energy in Motion is the best place to teach people how. So, without any further ado, let me go ahead and introduce you to this week's guest, Rebecca, also known as Reiki Master Empress, healer, self-love promoter of AwakenedQueen.com, and an amazing human being who is interested in the growth of each and every one of us through the shift of our energy to elevate ourselves. Now, before this episode, I knew very little about what Reiki was. In fact, once this episode starts, you'll see how little I knew. But I walked away learning a lot and having my own personal experience that maybe some of you who have done Reiki before can give me some advice on as to how I can interpret more into it. And those of you who have not done Reiki before might be able to get an idea as to if it's something you're interested in. Let me be the guinea pig and let's jump into this amazing episode with Empress. Miss Rebecca, also known as Empress.
Hi.
Now, Rebecca, talk to the people about what's your relationship with movement energy? What's it like for you?
I mean, I've always been sensitive to it as far as the atmosphere. And I think that growing up, I really didn't understand it very much. But I think that through my spiritual journey, I first learned how to demand the type of atmosphere that I wanted to create in my home.
Okay.
And so I think that's really where it started. I wanted peace. And so what I did, and that's one of the things that I talk about as far as like altars. A lot of people, they get scared when they think about altars because they think, what kind of craziness is someone doing? But it's really a sacred space for you. And it's a reflection of what you're wanting to create for yourself, whether it's self-love, but at the time it was peace. And so I put a lot of energy into creating that sacred space of peace. And so when people came to my home, that was the energy that welcomed you.
Yeah.
Because it was something that I felt like after, a hard day at work and taking care of my children, I needed some peace.
Yeah.
And so that was my first experience with really moving the different energies and understanding the part that I played in creating that.
A lot of us don't even know how to create the most intentional energetic space for us to be able to flourish in the things that we're trying to manifest. A lot of us just come home, we pop our bra off or we take our pants off and we go about doing our routine. But having some intention behind what you want to bring energetically into your home can make all the difference in actually achieving that. So Reiki is something that not everybody is even so familiar with. If we talk about like the movement of energy and creating spaces, people might be familiar with that. But when you sit down and talk about going to a Reiki practitioner, they might not know what goes into that process or what to expect. Can you walk us through that?
Absolutely. So basically, Reiki, the first teacher.
Hold on. It's Reiki?
Reiki.
Ah, damn. So I've been saying Reiki, y'all. This is a learning opportunity for all of us. You see how nice she been? She'll be that girl yelling out, Reiki is Reiki. Oh, this is so embarrassing. Okay.
It's okay.
Tell us about the Reiki.
Don't laugh. It's okay.
I have to. Now, some of you might think, well, why didn't you just edit that out? And it's because I want to use myself as an energetic example. Just because you don't know something or you get it wrong and someone warmly and kindly corrects you doesn't mean you got to try to hide the mistake. Laugh about it, make fun of yourself, and then keep it pushing with the new information. No big deal.
Reiki is a form of energy therapy. And I think that for me, it was understanding that everything has energy, but I wanted to learn the energy that was within myself. And so Reiki was founded by Dr. Usui is the founder that a lot of people are familiar with. But what we realize is that spirituality has, it works with energy. And so Reiki is basically understanding the energy, your aura, the life force that we all have, which is our chi, and really understanding how we can shift and really correct the things that may be not in alignment. One of the things that I like to do with a lot of my clients, the first session that you'll go through is a chakra alignment, because people are starting to understand that the spiritual aspect of things and the natural aspect of things really kind of go hand in hand. And that's one of the things that I really kind of explain when you come to see me.
Yeah.
So we kind of go over the 7 major chakras. And then we go in, I go in and I find what may be not in alignment, what may be blocked, or what you'll be struggling with. And then when we talk about the natural aspects of those struggles, a lot of people, they'll say, you're right.
They see the relation.
They see the correlation between the two. And then I know that with a lot of people wanting to understand the chakras and kind of doing their own research, they get kind of confused with really where they are. Like one of the examples that I give people a lot of times, speaking truth, your throat chakra. A lot of people think that that may be blocked if they're having issues with communication, but sometimes it's your solar plex. The solar plex is really the heart of self.
Okay.
So it's like you have to know that you're worth speaking your truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of times what I've noticed is that it's not really your throat. It's understanding that you matter, but you first matter to yourself enough to want to speak your truth.
Yeah, because if you're going to offer up something vulnerable like your truth, you need to feel confident enough to share that. It's not so much about how they receive it. It's about how you're impacted and even offering. When I tell y'all my solar plex and my throat chakra have to do a lot of communicating and a lot of healing. Because in order to do a show like this, in order to do the speaking engagements I do, I have to know that what I have to offer is of value. Not just because other people tell me, but because I know it for myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I think that with going to a Reiki practitioner, they shed light on things and they look a little deeper where, you may just think, oh, it's a throat chakra thing or it's a heart chakra thing. They kind of break it down a little bit more to where they give you insight, or I would give you insight on the deeper meanings. So.
Yeah. So how long is a Reiki session usually?
A Reiki session is probably anywhere between an hour to an hour and a half. It depends. I can't speak on every Reiki practitioner, but I know for me, I like to explain. So it's not just about shifting the energy. I want you to understand what's taking place, where your blockages are, and the things that you can actually do to kind of fix it and shift it. Because I can shift it, but if you're still operating in certain things, your car, it'll cramp back up again. So we want to make sure that everything moves smoothly.
It's like the old adage, teach a man to fish or give a man a fish.
That is right.
Yeah, and it's like, I need to be able to do this for myself when I leave your presence.
Yes.
Even though I want to keep coming back and giving you business, I need to be able to transcend on my own in that way.
Absolutely. And I think that it's good to have a session maybe once a month or when you need it for maintenance, just to kind of clear some things.
Yeah.
You know, because I find that, you know, some people just feel stuck. A lot of times we just we want a certain outcome, but we don't know how to get it. And so that's where the practitioners come into play to kind of assist you along your journey. And that's kind of the way I like to see it. I enjoy assisting people along their journey.
And really, we all just want a little bit of support as we try to figure this out. Mentally, physically, energetically, spiritually. And so people like Rebecca, people like myself, who feel placed here on this planet to be a support to others who just don't know how to do it, make sure you take us up on our offer. We really love seeing you through. What are some things with assisting people on their journey that's such personal work? That's so, you have to be willing to be open yourself. They have to be willing to be open themselves. Have there ever been moments that you've just been taken over by all that energy that you are in the midst of shifting with someone? And what was that like for you?
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
Very overwhelming. I mean, you have to make sure that you ground. You have to make sure that you cleanse, because it's very important to kind of clear that energy. And that's one of the things that we kind of learn, that it's like, okay, well, once you clear the energy, where does it go? Yeah. You have to kind of get rid of it. But yes, I have, and it wasn't very fun.
Yeah. Is it hard to stay like professional when you're like, okay, all right, I'm feeling a lot right now? Is it hard to kind of balance that? And for me personally, I ask this question because as someone who works with clients, when I do self sessions and experiencing the energy that goes through them when they remember certain experiences, when they're processing certain triggers or trauma, I have to remember to ground myself and to stay balanced with that energy that is being shared in the space between the two of us. So I just feel like when you're directly handling the energy, it has to be overwhelming, right?
No, I think...
Because she a pro, y'all. That's why it ain't hard.
I just have a heart for people. Like, I really love helping people. And it's just, for me, it's an honor that people trust me enough to really kind of come to me. And so I don't want it to be about ego. Yeah. It's more about me just being a vessel to help the best way that I can. So that's really, that's my primary focus.
Absolutely. And I love that you use the word vessel, a vessel to help, because like, even though I'm new to all of this Reiki business, I do strongly believe, as we were talking before, about the purpose. And it's not a purpose that's attached to a paycheck. It's not a purpose that is labeled any type of way. It's a purpose of, what was I called to do? What lights me on fire because I see the impact it can have on the rest of my community, the rest of the world. And so doing things like this, having conversations openly, this lights me up and it blesses people. Yeah. And I think it's such a blessing that something that I enjoy doing can actually give something to folks. Right. And so that's why I love how we collaborate, because what you are purposed to do brings so much value, and you teach people how to bring that value to themselves. Yes. That's so exciting. So with Reiki, about an hour to an hour and a half session, what are some of the things that you remind people when they're leaving your sessions to keep in mind to kind of do upkeep on themselves, like maintenance?
We go through a lot of different things. We talk about the different essential oils. When you come to me, that's actually something that I offer, a customized essential oil blend based off of whatever blockages that I see. We go over foods that you can eat to assist, or different exercises that you can do to assist with the blockages, just to make sure that they're flowing properly. Anytime I recommend foods, it's always going to be live foods, because I believe in honoring your body with live foods, fruits and vegetables, raw foods, things that are going to bring nourishment to your body, which in essence help your aura or your energy field.
Absolutely. So, I did a little bit of research. Okay. Obviously not enough, because I was calling it Reiki. We're gonna leave that part alone. Okay. It's okay. I saw that, and it might be older practices, that in Reiki, there's a lot of like holding your hands in specific positions over the body, and that's how it's done. Can you show me a little bit of it? Or is that too much? You know how you be clicking through YouTube? And I saw a couple of videos on Reiki, and they made a lot of points to make sure you understood that the sessions are sacred. So any footage you were seeing should be very, very highly appreciated. And I saw some special hand movements. So I was hoping in this interview, this exclusive interview, she might show me some hand movements. So,
It's one of those things where a Reiki master has to attune you in order to receive the energy. But yes, there are, like your headspace as far as like, this is going to be for your crown chakra, and then, of course, for your eyes. So there are different, placements for it, as far as just like where you're wanting to zone in on the different energies. And then you have the different symbols, as far as like, your master symbols that you use or incorporate. That kind of assist you with if it's just a general session, or if you're feeling like the person needs emotional stability. Because it's kind of like when you're in tune with the energies, you kind of have an idea with what the person needs. Yeah. And then we also go over affirmations. I love affirmations.
Oh, don't we all? Yes.
And one of my special affirmations that all of my clients can tell you that I say is that I am grateful, and that I am a healer of many, but I first had to become a healer of myself. I had to start the process. I think that we all are students of the universe, right? Yeah. But in essence, I had to understand where I was and really heal myself before I could really begin to help others.
See, and that's the type of mindset that would make me trust you to help me. Because you didn't just say, I see that there's hurt in the world, I'm going to go out and heal it. That's great. But what I see in the world is a reflection of me. So if I'm seeing hurt in the world, I'm connecting with that because there's hurt in me. Right. So let me go inside, let me tend to myself, and then I'll learn so many tools. Maybe not every tool for everyone else, but I'll learn the tools to reach out with compassion and with intention when I do lay hands on people. Literally laying hands on the people. Yes. My country ass. I wonder if that's related at all. You think?
Well, you know what? It is.
It is, right?
And, Dr. Akua Gray is who gave me my all three attunements. And so one of the things that we learned in her first book is that, yes, Dr. Usui was the first founder teacher of Reiki, but this was a practice that our ancestors did. And so outside of religion, outside of everything, and you just look at the energy. Yeah. You understand that healing takes place when you vibrate high, and you understand that the emotions that are associated with higher vibrations or frequencies is joy. It is happiness. Yes. It is all of these things that make you feel good. It is love, but it's doubt and it's anger and it's hopelessness. Guilt. These are lower vibrating frequencies. And so healing cannot take place there. Yeah. And so a lot of times our ancestors would create a certain frequency collectively to bring this healing in so that the laying of the hands could take place and that healing could transpire between us. And so when I understood that, I got very excited because it was kind of like, okay, so this is a practice that our ancestors did. It's nothing new. No. It's just understanding that these are things that we have access to.
So I might be country, but it seems like I might be in touch with my ancestors too. I like that. That's a good look. And when it comes to being able to keep in touch with old practices that have served us as a culture, I wonder why we've been straying away from that. And there's such an honor. I think in more recent years, tradition is lost amongst a lot of different cultures. And I think something that makes you feel grounded and connected to something that's worked for so long amongst so many different generations, it's almost like a check mark of like, yeah, let's try that because it's been working all this time. So why would we turn away from it? Absolutely. And that doesn't mean that we don't question things, but if it's working, yeah, and if it's blessing people, let it work and let it bless. Absolutely. So when you're starting off, like for someone like me, I haven't ever been to a Reiki professional yet. I'm about to give you this. I am coming. By the time this airs, I'll actually be able to give you an amazing review of how awesome she is when she lays hands on you. My country ass. So if you're new to it, what types of things should you be prepared for? Are there any suggestions you would give to new clients who are coming in as to, get your mind right? Do you need to meditate before you come in?
Well, you know what? I say to trust your intuition. Figure out how you feel about the person that's actually going to be working with you. That is primarily very important because trust is very important. Yeah. I think that when people come to see me, I can tell whether you trust me or not. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But my responsibility is to make you as comfortable as possible and to be open. Yeah. I think that's one thing that I try to have my clients. I like to make people feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. I want you to trust me because really, that's what it's about. It's about you being open to receive what it is that you need to receive. So yeah, I think that's probably the only thing. Do your research, go to someone that resonates with you, and the person that you need to trust them. Yeah, because it is in essence your energy. And so you want to make sure that the person that's having access to your energy, that you trust them enough to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And that you want to share that energy with them. Because as we were talking about earlier, like you can't be too careful with who you share energy with.
You can't, you know what I mean? And so it's very important. But I think that's the only thing that I would recommend. Mm-hmm. Just being open, making sure that that's the person you vibe with.
You vibe with. Mm-hmm. So, of course, I was already vibing with Rebecca, with Empress. So me going through with my Reiki session a couple of weeks later was inevitable. But for those of you who are interested in Reiki now, it is so important to do your research and to make sure whoever you are interested in having perform the practice on you is someone who you're intentional about, who feels good to you, who you're comfortable with. Because you don't want to just share that sacred energy of yours with anybody. Whether you feel good about your energy or not, it does not change the fact that it is sacred. So be mindful of who you share it with. And speaking of vibing with people, when you're vibing with people and you're working with them, are there any major consistent blockages you see a lot of? I know each person is different, but I feel like a lot of us carry around a lot of emotional trauma. Yeah. And we carry it in the body, and it's tucked in different corners and nooks. Is there ever a consistent part of the body you come over and you're like, right here?
The solar plex. The solar plex, because it is how you view yourself. And I feel like we lack as a people confidence in who we are. We're continually looking outward for what we need. Yes. Not understanding that, like, I think I saw a meme the other day. It was so powerful. This woman was in this meme and she said, they buried me, but they didn't realize that I was a seed.
Say it, yes.
It was so powerful because we're all like that. I feel like, and I believe that everything that we need in this lifetime is already in us. Yes. And so for me, I'm assisting with the journey with understanding that it's like, hey, it's okay for someone to think you're beautiful, but you need to know that you're beautiful. Yeah. You need to have that confidence in who you are, so that you can bring out what you need. Short story.
I love story time.
When I was really going through a lot of my healing, I complained about my job. Oh, I hated this job. I'm not going to say where, but I hated this job. And I was ready for something new. And I'm like, why can't I find something new? And that's when I realized that in order for me to manifest or find something new, I had to believe that I deserved something new. Mm-hmm. And I was so stuck within myself. And then I realized that it was really my solar plex. Mm-hmm. It was like I needed to understand that I was worth speaking my truth. I was worth the drive that I needed in order to fill out those applications. It wasn't just me being tired of my job. It was knowing within myself that I deserved a better job. Yeah. And so that's one of the things that I've seen more prevalent than anything. It's the solar plex, because the solar plex is connected to so many other things because it's right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the heart is also another one, because I explain to the people that come to me that the heart is like, it's like a two-way, you know, those doors that go like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, this is the place that you give love, but this is also the place that you receive love.
Yes.
And so a lot of times we go through so much stuff that we tend to block it. And so it's kind of like, you know, yes, you need to forgive others, but I find that a lot of people have more issues forgiving themselves.
Of course, because I should have known better.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so those are the things that I probably see the most. It's forgiving yourself for making the choices that taught you what you needed to learn.
Yeah.
And to also know that you're worth more.
I love how you said that the choices you needed to make. Yeah, to learn what you needed to learn. Right. It doesn't feel like it at the time. When you look back on it, you're like, why would I have done that? And it's like, so that you could learn what you know now. Yes. And you probably wouldn't have learned it as efficiently if it hadn't gone the way that it went. Yeah. And I think that lines up with exactly what I've experienced with the people who I've talked to from this show. Mm-hmm. A lot of the consistent themes, like if we were talking about feeling stuck or stagnant, like you talked about, I don't really feel capable of what I really want to move towards. So I'm really just going to stay feeling stuck and stagnant because at least that's familiar. If we're talking about worth or the law of attraction, people don't feel confident to attract to themselves what they want because it's like, if I got it, would it even want me? Right. If I'm trying to attract this relationship with this amazing person, will they realize what a terrible person I am and then leave and then I'll feel more without? Yes. And so it always comes back down to, have I tended to me? And so that's why I love what you started off with saying when you were like, I see that I'm a healer, but I had to heal me first. Absolutely. And from that, there's such I feel like a pure exchange of energy because you see them, you see their energy for what it is. And even when you see the blockages, there's not a judgment. There's not oh, well, you got hung up there. It's let's move it. Okay, that's the past. What I'm seeing is past you, and we're going to move it on through, and we're going to talk afterwards or before about how you can do this for yourself later on.
Absolutely.
And this is why people need to know everything that you offer on awakenqueen.com. Give them a plug, Rebecca. Tell them.
Okay, so Awaken Queen really, I think I can start off by saying that it came from my journey of self-healing. And so I incorporated a lot of the things that helped me through the process with the candles, which were great for me to kind of create a sacred space, right? My detox bath, which is great for just that self-love, that self-care. And then I also create body mists, which you learn that everything has intention. And with intentions, we understand. And one of the things that I try to teach people is that you even find intentions in the particular scents that you like because they all have a meaning. Yeah. For example, rose, if you're a person that likes rose scented fragrances, then that means that you need more joy, that you need to vibrate a little bit higher because you're starting to be a little stagnant or you just need a little pick-me-up. If you're attracted to more citrus, then that means that you're looking for clarity. And clarity is very important for people who deal with anxiety or a lot of thoughts in their head. And so I have a couple products that kind of do that. My most popular is Swerve. A lot of people like it because it's a negative energy blocker. It has been successful with keeping a lot of those negative energies away.
Yo, it is a beautiful time to be alive when there are products you can buy called
Swerve, negative energy blocker.
And then I also do, which is dear to my heart, goddess boxes. And for men, it's royal boxes. And so when you come to me, I put together a box of products, but also crystals that assist you with what you need. So you go through a consultation, a mini consultation. I get a feel for your energy, where you are. And I actually create a box that will assist you, whether it's, abundance is pretty cliche, but you get down to the root of, okay, so what is blocking you from that abundance? Is it, again, your solar plex? Is it something else that's attached to that you're needing in order to build that confidence? And so we kind of go through that, and I correlate a box for you to do that. And then, of course, the Reiki sessions. And then what's coming soon our classes.
Oh.
So, yes.
Oh, it's going to be a great year.
2020 is going to be exciting.
It's a great year already. And so me being able to speak to it, this beautiful woman attended the homecoming experience.
Yes, it was awesome, y'all.
And she brought me a gift because it was around the time of my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
This amazing smelling candle. Oh my gosh. I took it with me when I went to the retreat with open minds only, just because it was comforting. And so I brought it with me then, and she gave me a crystal, and it sits next to all my affirmations on my windowsill.
Aww.
And it's just a beautiful addition. And it felt picked for me. It didn't feel like, oh, it matches my birthstone. You don't have any real reason to have done that research other than you feel energy and you're intentional.
Right.
And so, yeah, it shows. What you do shows. The intentionality shows. And I'm really excited to come see you. Yay. I'm really excited to learn more about me.
She's coming through, y'all.
I am. So this is going to be so great. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
So y'all remember, the website is anawakenqueen.com. Yes. This is Rebecca, also known as Empress, an amazing energy. If you have not yet met her, reach out to her.
My Instagram is awakened_queen34.
So we're going to make sure that we have her connect to y'all connect to her. And yeah, thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So I just completed my very first Reiki session with the Awakened Queen, who did not disappoint whatsoever. And to give you all a brief but beautiful summary, I got the opportunity to pull cards in her presence. My cards reflected things such as I am bold, I am confident. It encouraged me to dance and to shift my vibration whenever I feel like I need to. I was then given the opportunity to choose a crystal, which would represent kind of what I wanted to focus on and hold on to. And so she gave me two options. The crystal that I chose was honey calcite, and that crystal is specifically for the sacral and solar plexus area, and it's specifically for creativity, and it's specifically to generate connecting with oneself. And so it made a lot of sense that I would choose that one, because I am so deeply interested in healing all aspects of myself, those aspects that I'm aware of and those aspects that I'm not. So then the actual session itself began. I was on her table, and she let me know that it was a non-touch session. So the only touching I would experience is her laying the crystals on me, as well as any attempt to ground me if she felt it was necessary. Which happened twice, but not because I was floating off into the fourth dimension, but just to alert me that the end of the session was coming. I felt comfortable. I was relaxed. I was at ease. I was very proud of how present I was. Though later on she told me it's okay if my mind was to have wandered, because it was a space where it was safe enough for that to happen. But I really wanted to be engaged and present in the experience. I did feel the warmth. I did feel a fluidity happening throughout my body. I did experiencing some colors, tangerines, oranges, golds, yellows, nothing psychedelic or crazy like that, but just gentle colors of that nature, briefly. And then afterwards, and after she had brought me to, she and I discussed what she had felt off of me and experienced off of me, as well as what my chakras had explained. Those are details that I'm going to keep to myself, not because there are secrets here on energy and motion, but just because each experience, each journey is different. And I do not want to tell you all about mine so that you'll compare your Reiki session or other spiritual journeys to mine in this instance. What I will share is that she touched on a lot of points that resonated with me. She spent time with my childhood self and inquired from young me as to what did I want. And the things that I wanted then very much aligned with the things that I feel like I want now. I was validated in feelings I have towards myself. I was given direction on correcting some areas, my sacral chakra, my solar plex chakras. And I was also alerted that my third eye is wide open and that my heart chakra and my root chakra are two of my strongest ones. So yeah, it was a very positive experience. And I am thankful that I got to explore it with the Awakened Queen. Did y'all hear how woo-saw, calm, chill I sounded after that session? I was laid up. Something in my spirit was just at ease. It was steady after that session. So I am tremendously thankful for Rebecca, for the Empress, the awakened queen, spending her talent, her skill, her time on me and with me. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I want to encourage you to reach out to Rebecca if you have any questions about Reiki or any referrals for anyone you might want to recommend. Her Instagram again is anawakened_queen34, and her website is anawakenedqueen.com. Make sure that you check her out and reach out to her because she's an awesome person to know. And we here at Energy in Motion don't want to miss out on you. So if you're an awesome person to know, please make sure you're following us on Instagram and Facebook at 3 in Motion so that we can connect with you. As always, Energy in Motion family, you get to feel whatever you feel, and you will always deserve to heal. Peace.